What's up, guys? Now that we got the rant of the Pittsburgh game out of the way, I wanted to review Alien Romulus from director Fede Alvarez, if that's how you pronounce that. Um, Look, I don't want to lose all of you right away, but I'm just going to come out and say I am not the biggest Alien fan. I'm not the biggest fan of space horror in general. I'm not a big science sci-fi guy. Something about space movies just take the believability out of it for me, and I've just never really been a fan of the genre. I did like Life. Life was actually kind of a nice surprise because of the ending. I actually kind of enjoyed that one, but I've never been the biggest Alien fan. That being said, this director is the same guy that remade Evil Dead in 2012, and I absolutely fucking loved that movie. I remember when it came out, I was in high school. It was like my junior year, and everybody in my school was freaking out about it because the trailers made it look like it was going to be the scariest, grossest thing ever. So I remember in school in one of our classes, distance learning classes, where we were all on computers, that people were like looking up the trailers and shit. And anyway, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed the remake of Evil Dead quite a bit. And so whenever I heard his name was attached to this, I got pretty damn excited for it, actually. I've seen the Aliens. I watched the original trilogy when I was really young. Seen Covenant, seen Prometheus. Wasn't the biggest fan. I mean, I like Alien. It's a good movie, and I'm not dogging on it. I'm just saying it's not. Space horror movies are not my cup of tea. But I was very interested in this director's take on it, and especially with it taking place in between the first and second one, I believe, or the second and third one, and going back kind of to its roots. I thought this was going to be a banger. So I wanted to like it more than I did. It didn't have that grid of kills. So I'll just talk about the movie, I guess. So we open and we're in a different world that's 65 light years away from Earth, I believe, and it has no sunlight, and people are broke, and they're dying from diseases left and right, and dying and mining, and basically it's a pretty broken world, and we're following the main character and her brother Andy, who Andy is a synthetic, which is basically a robot human, like not a real human, but it's her brother, I guess, that she found at a young age when her parents died or whatever, and it's basically been her brother, and his one programming directive is to do what's in the best interest of her. So he's her companion, and honestly, my favorite part of this movie, I think the actor did an incredible job playing him. Anyway, they're trying to leave this planet, and she hits like the required hours or whatever for of mining and working to be able to leave the planet. And as she goes to, I guess she goes to this office to report and try to get permission to leave, they say that they raised the amount of hours that she's supposed to hit, and it'll be another 5 to 6 years before she can leave. Shortly after that, we are introduced to her group of friends who seen on their radar that there's a spaceship, and they want to go collect and steal technology. And I don't understand why they have a spaceship just readily available. I don't know if that's part of what their job entails or what. Like, I found it odd that she had to have permission to leave the planet, but they were just able to leave the planet. Like, anyway, so their plan is to go to the spaceship and pull a heist. And the opening scene, we are in a spaceship and we got a group of astronauts and scientists who seem like they found the fossil of a xenomorph. And that's the opening sequence. And then that's when we cut to our characters and whatever. So, takes a minute to get her on board because she's scared about getting caught. She's scared of getting in trouble and blah, blah. But they eventually get her on board and they go up there. And lo and behold, they go up there and everybody's dead and yada, yada. Right? So, they get up there and she and the bald lady. So I suck at names. So we got bald girl that made the poster. We got our main character. We got Andy, which is the brother. We got douchebag, which I'm tired of the cliche trope of just having an unlikable alpha character that just does the most idiotic shit and is always hateful and mean and ridiculous just to drive the plot forward. And then we got another guy, and we got a pregnant woman. So, 6 people, I believe. And 3 of them stay on the ship while Andy and the other 2, the douchebag and the other guy, go to collect this technology. And they need Andy because since he's a synthetic, he can get them into, like, entrances and shit that they wouldn't be able to access. Whenever they get there and find the technology that they're looking for, they find a half-chewed-up synthetic. And basically ignore that. And then go into a room. I don't remember what the room was called, but it's a room with the water, and clearly that's where, like, the, you know, little baby fucking, like, face huggers are being reproduced, and they get stuck in there. So the other 3 on the ship have to come and save them. And Andy can't open the door because I guess his disc isn't upgraded enough to have the right clearance on this one because this is a special room. And so the other girls come on board, and the main character has the idea of taking the half-eaten synthetic, getting his drive out and putting it in Andy because there's a little crack in the door. She can hand him something, and then hopefully that'll let him override it. And then it's in this moment that he puts it in and he's rebooting. It takes him a couple minutes to reboot, so it's in this moment that they start to realize that they're not alone, because you got the little face huggers starting to fall into the water and shit. And turns out you could have just broke the glass the entire fucking time. So the entire 15 minutes that they were stuck in there was bullshit. They could have just broken the glass. They didn't need to wait on Andy or anything. But they end up discovering these face huggers and fighting them, basically. And Andy wakes up right at the right moment and gets them out of there. And then they don't know what's going on, and then they plug up the synthetic that's half eaten, hoping to get answers out of him. And he awakes and then basically starts talking about what happened to the ship and their crew and the people that, with the opening scene, that found that fossil of the xenomorph. He basically was part of that crew and is explaining what happened, and that they were collecting this blah blah xenomorph, and they're trying to make, like, the perfect human. So it has a little bit of the Prometheus lore in here. I think it does a good job of intertwining the Prometheus side of things and just the alien, you know, the horror in space, and then what the meaning of it all is and whatnot. I think they do a good job of combining both of the aspects. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he basically tells them that there's these creatures, and they're trying to create the perfect specimen, and they have figured out a way to extract the DNA from the xenomorphs to inject it into humans. And we watch in a video where this rat is killed and injected with this, and it comes back to life, and it seems like it's regenerated and smarter and faster and stronger. And so in this moment, the characters think that this is actually a good thing, that this stuff that they've found is actually good for humanity. And once they leave the room, the humans leave the room, because Andy stays behind for a second. The video finishes, and it shows the rat turn into a xenomorph. So this is basically like just creating hybrids. Like, it's not... It's basically turning you into an alien, obviously. I mean, it's fucking alien DNA, so yes, it's not like it's just gonna make you a regenerative, you know, human being. Like, it's gonna come with some consequences. Anyway, the synthetic is talking to Andy, the other synthetic, and saying that with the new disc that he has in his head, that you now have a new directive, and it's to do what is best for the company. And this, if you watched Prometheus, you would know as the synthetics to what they think is best for the company is making the perfect specimen, which would be turning all humans into xenomorphs. So you know, the audience knows that Andy's mission from this point on is basically to screw over the humans. And then what happens? We get... So douchebag... Alright, so after this happened... While this is happening... Whenever the glass broke and they ran out of the room that they were stuck in, one of the facehuggers got out and attached to the bald chick. And so that's another reason why that's why they woke up the fucking... I'm sorry. Totally forgot about that. That's why they woke up the synthetic, was because she was attached with the facehugger, and Andy was like, well, it's not killing her because it's matching her breathing, so it's keeping her alive. We just don't know why. And obviously we, the viewer, know why. So they awake the synthetic to get explained all that info. So after talking to the dude, after figuring out all this stuff, they are able to detach the facehugger from the bald chick by using one of the I don't know what it is. Like, it basically turns shit into ice. I can't think of the word right now. But like these little, you know, canisters that basically turn shit into ice. So they like freeze the fucking facehugger, and it detaches from the bald chick. But according to the half-eaten synthetic, the chances are 60-40 against her that the facehugger already did its reproduction. And so now that Andy's directive is do what's the best interest for the company, he is trying to not allow the bald chick back onto the main ship. Because remember, we got the ship they came in on, and now we're on the ship that they're stealing technology from. So he stops the bald woman from going back to the main ship, and then the douchebag that's been nothing but mean to him this entire fucking time and making wrong decision after wrong decision hits him with the fucking electric thingy fucking, God, why can't I think of words right now? He hits him with an electric thing, sends him flying, and takes the bald chick on board with the pregnant chick. And then leaves Andy, the main character, and the other guy. And just leaves them there. He's so concerned about saving the bald chick, yet is willingly leaving 3 of his other friends. And so they get onto the spaceship, and surprise, surprise, the bald chick does have a xenomorph inside her, and you get this cool scene where she has like an x-ray device that like shows a light and you can see through her, so you see the little baby xenomorph inside her, and it pops out and whatever, and then Richard ends up fucking crashing the ship into the ship. And like, good job. I think that was his, I don't know why I said Richard. I think that was his name. I'm not sure. Fucking headband guy. Dumbass guy. You know, the alpha male of the fucking group. So now, because of his stupid decision to let her on board, she is now dead, and they crash the fucking ship into the ship. And now they're stuck on a different part of the ship, and then the other 3 have to get to them. And basically from then on out, it's just kind of, I don't know, like, it's intense. There's intense scenes and whatnot. There's cool scenes, but like, it just wasn't the best. You got Richard, who gets split up from the pregnant woman, and no, he's with the pregnant woman, and they're walking, and he decides to electrocute the fucking, they find like a nest, it looks like a wound, and he decides to electrocute the shit out of it, and then that doesn't work, and he gets stabbed in the eye, and then he gets down on the ground, and then acid falls on him, and it's a pretty good death scene, but it could have been bloodier. The movie was not as bloody as I was wanting it to be. Like, the kills were not, there weren't that many of them, and they weren't that bloody or gory. God damn it. I guess if I want blood and gore, I'm just gonna have to fucking settle for Terrifier, but yeah, it wasn't as gory as I was expecting this director to make it. So he gets killed. Thank fucking God. He needed to go. And then now you got the pregnant chick who is stuck, and the other 3 are trying to rescue her. But they have to go through this tunnel that's full of face huggers, and Andy knows that they're blind, and they find you based off of your body temperature. So they set the room temperature to the same as their body temperature, hoping that they can just walk by them without being seen. And then pregnant chick comes in on the walkie-talkie at the worst moment, and they gotta run away. And they get away, and they basically get to her, and she's at a door, but the xenomorph is sitting right behind her. And Andy can open the door, and, you know, the 2 humans, the main character and the other guy that's left, want him to open the door, but he won't, because he knows that the second he opens the door, the xenomorph will fucking attack them. So he's basically sacrificing the pregnant girl, which I agreed, like, that was the right move to make. Like, there was a quote from the other synthetic to him when they were having a one-on-one discussion that was like, humans with their emotions are incapable of making the decisions necessary. You need to lead them. And this was him, like, taking charge. And I do agree with his decision there. He's right. If they would have opened the door, the xenomorph would have been on him. So the xenomorph ends up impaling the chick and taking off with her. And then later, so there's this anti-gravity thing that, like, kicks off every, like, 5 minutes. to where, like, it'll just go to 0 gravity and then it'll turn back to where you have gravity. And that's a thing in the beginning, and then for some reason in the middle of the movie, it's like completely forgotten about. I don't know if they turned it off or what. I don't know if I just missed that part, but like, no, the gravity seemed fine for 80% of the movie. At first, it every 5 minutes or so would go to 0 gravity for a second. And then for whatever reason, for the next hour, it just never did it again. Anyway, just being nitpicky. Basically, they are trying to find the ship now to leave, and they hear the pregnant woman scream, and they go down this tunnel and they find her, and she's actually still alive, but she's strung up, you know, and basically cocooned, and they cut her out of it and get her down and whatever. And then the other guy ends up getting stabbed by a xenomorph because the xenomorph is coming to stab the main character, and he jumps in front, gets impaled, and we get a pretty good kill scene, I guess, where, you know, the xenomorph with the tongue monster thing comes out and bites his face, and it shows it basically bite his face off. Not a bad kill there, but it was really quick. So now he's gone. Now it's down to 3. Main character, Andy, and pregnant lady. And they still got, you know, all the tubes of fucking alien xenomorph DNA in it. And the plan is to get it to the ship and get the fuck out of there and take the DNA stuff to where it needs to go. That's Andy's mission. So at some point after that, they get the pregnant woman to the elevator, and like Andy gets like knocked out or something, and he's sitting there twitching. He has this thing where if he gets hit, he like goes into like seizures and twitches, and the main character has to like fix him. And she gets the pregnant girl to the elevator and knows that she left Andy down there, and tells her, hey, you take this to the fucking ship and you wait for us there, and I'm gonna go back down and get Andy. And she's got a gun at this point, and the gun's actually pretty cool. I liked the gun, how it like it basically fit to your arm and everything. It was pretty cool. So she goes back down there to save Andy, and she convinces him to let her remove the new disc he has that's basically overriding his previous commands, which is a good idea at the end of the day, yes, but I actually liked Andy with that new disc because he was smarter and faster and like knew what needed to be done. His plan that he was told to carry out was evil and shit, and obviously the disc needed to be removed, but I'm saying without it he was kind of more cowardly and shit. And but she takes it out, and now they're stuck down there pinned against the wall, and all these xenomorphs are coming towards them, and she turns the gravity off. Because if they shoot the xenomorph, you know, they bleed acid, it's going to cause a hole in the bottom of the fucking ship, and it's going to decompress and suck everybody out. So she hits the gravity so she can then shoot the xenomorphs, and then the venom or acid stay in the air. And this works, and they go... Yeah, this works, and they're basically going up a ladder, trying to go up a level, and midway through doing that, Andy gets to the top, and the gravity comes back on, so girl, is on a ladder now, and the xenomorph's blood all falls and then creates a fucking suction hole. And Andy's holding the elevator from crushing her, but can't hold it anymore, and it falls, barely misses her, takes out the remaining xenomorphs, and now we got a hole. And, or it clogs the hole, I think. That's why they don't get sucked out there. Anyway, so now we cut the pregnant chick, and she's sitting there and her stomach hurts, and she actually takes one of the vials and injects herself with the xenomorph DNA. And the other characters don't know that. So they basically make it to the ship. We're all in the ship now. We think we're safe. We start to take off. And she puts her in like a hibernation pod or whatever. And then suddenly gets an alert. And this girl gives birth to a fucking hybrid, a human xenomorph hybrid. And it's the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. Superior, goddamn perfect creature. Anyway, gives birth to this creature. It immediately comes out and it's in like a fucking cocoon, and the mom says, "Get it away from me," and the main character wraps it in a towel and then accidentally drops it, and it's covered in acid, and so it falls to a level beneath them, and she's got to go down there to find it, and then now the baby's suddenly gone. Like, as she was about to like kill it, she seen that there was an actual baby, and then it fell to the lower floor. So she hesitated because she saw a baby. I wouldn't have hesitated. Anyway, because like you saw it came out of this like alien cocoon thing. Like, anyway, she gets down there. Now all of a sudden the baby's gone and has grown to this huge fucking creature. And it's back up there with the mom and slits Andy's throat and kills the mother. Off-screen death, which sucked because we only got like 4 kills this movie, and one of them was basically off-screen. He basically fucking eats her. It's his mom. I don't know. I thought he was about to like suck a titty or something and have a bond with her, but nope, he kills her. And slits Andy's throat, and they have a battle. She battles with the xenomorph, ends up fucking, I don't remember. They have a plan to like drop the bottom of the ship, and basically she gets put in this room, has to put on an astronaut suit, and she has a battle with this hybrid xenomorph thing and wins and gets it sucked out of the fucking ship. And then she's able to put Andy to sleep in a hibernation pod, and then puts herself in a hibernation pod on course to a different Earth, leaves a little audio file as the only survivor of the thing, and then the very last scene we see the ship run out of fuel. And so I guess that means she never makes it. So, with all that scattered brain fucking thought process explained to you, if you were able to piece that together, it was okay. It was definitely an intense movie, but it was not as good as I thought it would be. I will give it a 5 out of 10. Like I said, I'm just not a big space horror junkie, and I thought maybe with his directing style, maybe we would get some super gory kills and like shit, and didn't really get many kills. The kills that we did get were pretty quick and not super gory. The one where the guy got his face bitten off was really quick. It was brutal, but really quick. And the dick, he got acid in a few parts of his body and whatnot. But for the most part, the deaths weren't really that gory. Sick visuals. Well, what I will say is the visuals in this movie are fantastic. if you are fortunate enough to have a 4K TV, which most people do now, a true 4K TV, dude, the visuals on this movie are great. Space looks great. The anti-gravity effects are cool as fuck. Yeah, visually and like it was a good made film. It was directed well. It was good. It was good. I think I'm just so hard to impress, I guess you could say. Like, this is definitely better than Alien Covenant and Prometheus, in my opinion. No, it's not better than the original Alien. But it's not bad, I suppose. I wish the kills were gorier. I wish it feels like it should have been a little bit shorter of a movie. I feel like there's like trying to re-explain everything that happens to you. Like, it feels like there's a lot that could have, I don't know, been cut out. But the final 20 minutes, I think, is what a lot of people are going to talk about this movie with that xenomorph hybrid thing. And that was definitely a cool final and finale. They did do a good job developing the character enough that you care if she survives or not. I would definitely say. Hold that thought. But yeah, I think if you're a fan of the original Alien movie, you'll enjoy this one. The xenomorphs look great. The visuals are great. It's well directed. I would say if you're more of a casual horror fan, you'll enjoy this one. But if you're a super hardcore horror fan, like I don't know. Like I don't know. It wasn't really scary to me. It wasn't really bloody. The kills it was meh. It was passable to me, but at the same time, like I said, I'm not much into the Alien franchise. So if you are, I do think this is a movie that you'll enjoy. I don't let my negative opinion, swayed you out of checking it out or anything if you haven't already. I bought it because it's $25 to rent it and it's $30 to buy it. That's where they get you. So I just went ahead and bought it. I honestly regret doing that. I would say to the I don't know, the people that are iffy on Alien movies to stream it personally. But if you are a big fan of space horror, if you are a big fan of the, original Alien trilogy, I do think you'll like this one. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I give it a 5 out of 10. Some cool stuff, some cool new stuff. I do like how they combine the Prometheus shit and the lore mixed in with just what made the original Alien great. And, so, yeah. I think the director did a good job at taking everything from every movie and putting it into one and then coming up with something new at the end. So it just wasn't my cup of tea as a film. I wish the kills were a little bit better. I hate the cliche of having a really stupid, like, mean alpha character that just does the dumbest shit to drive the plot forward. Like him taking off with the bald chick because he couldn't accept the fact that she might, have an alien inside her, and then abandoning his 3 friends. Like, that was just fucking stupid, no matter how you look at it. And anyway, and he basically provided this entire movie to happen by being an idiot, and I just want to get these cliche asshole characters out of there. But definitely some intense sequences. The face huggers are scary here. If you're easily creeped out and don't watch horror movies often, I could definitely see this freaking you the fuck out. But for me, I've seen a lot. So 5 out of 10. That's where I'm gonna give it. It was meh. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It was better than the first Terrifier. How about that? Was it better than the second one? I don't think so. I think I would I think I would actually say the second Terrifier is better than this. Yeah. Despite having a bedroom scene with a kill that would go on way past what the human body could withstand. Anyway, yeah, that's sorry. I'm still trying to figure out how to do these reviews, man. I don't know if I want to do it in a Charlie style, just fucking talk about the movie and give you a summary of it and then my thoughts, or just give my thoughts, positives and negatives. I honestly feel like if you're here, there's no point in explaining the whole plot, but I can't really pick it apart and give my opinion on it without explaining the plot. So I'm sorry for the scatterbrained review, but it didn't live up. I am disappointed in it as a fan of the director and what I was wanting out of it. More gore and like, I'm disappointed, but I don't think I don't think a huge Alien fan would be. I was just never one to begin with. So don't let my opinion persuade you to not watch it. Because if you are a fan of space horror, if you are a fan of the original Alien, I do think you'll enjoy this one. And it doesn't, like, if you didn't like the Prometheus aspect of things, I don't think it dives in it too hard. And if you did enjoy the Prometheus aspect of things, I think they do a good job of incorporating it here. And the new direction it took was cool as well. I will give it that. And yeah, he did give us a good final character to root for. So yeah, there you go. There's my Alien Romulus review. 5 out of 10 for me. I would say stream it. But if you're an Alien fan, space horror fan, casual horror movie fan, this might be worth going out and buying for you. But if you're not a huge Alien or space fan like me, it didn't really. I think the director could. I just wish it was bloodier, man. I wish they had more people to kill, and it feels like a lot of the sequences just kind of got repetitive. Oh, we're running from facehuggers again. We're running from xenomorphs again. The final 20 minutes were great and entertaining, her battling that, and you genuinely wondering if she's going to survive or not. Like, from a filmmaking standpoint and film, it is a good movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. It's just not my cup of tea. It let me down a little bit. So 5 out of 10. But, yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching.